Hi guys, welcome or welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is your girl Ruth, your clinical nutritionist, and this is Nourished with Ruth. And as promised, I promised that the next video was going to be about feeding in babies the ages of 0 to 6 months. And one thing that I want us to make clear is the fact that 0 to 6 months is for those babies who we are saying they were born maturely. We're not talking about prem babies, premature babies, because for premature babies, you need to get a professional, a medical practitioner to calculate for you the corrected gestational age for you to know for how long you have to practice exclusive breastfeeding, because that is what I will be talking about today. Is that okay? Yeah. So for starters, the first thing that I want to say is that breast milk is the best food for your baby any day, anytime. There are times that we do give alternatives, but those are special occasions. Here is why that breast milk is best for your baby. Breast milk is best for your baby because it has antibodies that help build the immunity of your baby, and also it's ready for your baby. So you don't have any preparations that you have to do. In rare occasion or in some occasions, depending on the situation that we are having, you might have to express your breast milk. That can be done either manually or using a breast pump. That is solely dependent on the situation that we have at hand. That is where brings me to the bigger chunk of today's video, where I'm going to be teaching us how to express and store breast milk for preparation for mothers, because that's the biggest question that I get. How do I prepare to go back to work after my 3 months maternity leave is over and you're telling me to practice exclusive breastfeeding for the next 6 months? So here is how. You start expressing your breast milk and storing it in a freezer, because breast milk stored in a freezer is good for up to 6 months. So the first thing that you make sure that you do is that before any expressing session, you wash your hands with soap and water and rinse them well, and you use clean utensils. How do you clean utensils that are used for breast milk expression? You make sure that you wash them and sterilize them in hot boiling water. So what you do, you get your utensils, dip them in boiling water for at least 5 minutes to kill any microorganisms, and then leave them out to dry. You don't wipe them, you leave them out to dry, not unless you have a sterilizer that too can work. So once we have our utensils, we go ahead and start expressing. There is the manual expressing of breast milk. You don't express breast milk at the nipple. You start from the root of your breast towards the nipple. That's how you do, and you keep doing that until your breast is empty. Hope we are together up to that point. Once you have your breast milk, we do have packaging bags that I used. I'm going to put a picture on here. I'll get one from the internet. Packaging bags that I use to store your breast milk. So you put it in the packaging bag, write the day and time that you express that breast milk, and store it in the freezer. How do you store it in the freezer? By making sure first in, first out, FIFO method. So the breast milk that was first expressed comes in the front, the breast milk that is expressed last goes in the back. So we said breast milk stays good in the freezer for up to 6 months. So yes, that is milk that you can use long after you've gone back to work after your maternity leave. So how do you use it? You get it to thaw out of the freezer. So how do you thaw it? You thaw it in warm water. After thawing it in warm water, you just you get it from your freezer, you get it to thaw in warm water, and then most probably it will have separated into layers, because your breast milk is what we call fore milk and head milk. Fore milk has a lot of water in it. That's why we say that you should breastfeed your baby for 20 to 30 minutes, because for the first 5 to 7 minutes, the milk that your baby is getting from your breast milk is milk that helps with hydration. The milk that the baby gets thereafter is milk that will help with nourishment. So if you breastfeed your baby for only 5 minutes, that means that your baby is only getting hydrated, and they're not going to get the head milk, which is beneficial in nutrients. So you need to make sure that at all times your baby breastfeeds for at least 5 for at least 20 to 30 minutes. The first 5 minutes you are hydrating, the next 15 to 25 minutes is used for nourishment. And breastfeed your baby every 2 to 3 hours. No baby should stay unfed for more than 3 hours, because that will lead to hypoglycemia episodes and will also lead to things like dehydration, and you don't want the complications that come with that. We together up to that point. So how do you check to make sure that your baby's milk is at the right temperature? You see the inner part of your hand, this part here, that's where you check. So what you do, you just, after you've thawed the milk and it's at a temperature that you think is okay, make sure you just confirm with that part of your body should be the same. Not hotter, not something that is burning you, not cold, warm. So it should be at the same body temperature. If not that, use a thermometer, measure the temperature, should be about 35 degrees Celsius. So that way you go ahead and feed your baby. So what do you use to feed your baby? You can either use a spoon or a cup. You don't use nipple, what are they called? I'm trying to look for the word. These things that look like nipples, in Kenyan terms they are called monyonyi. I'm going to fix one here. It's like I think that we give babies, what's the name? Can't get the name right now since I've lost it. The things that you, pacifiers. No, don't use anything that looks like a pacifier, not unless it's prescribed from a hospital. That is usually prescribed for cleft babies born with either a cleft lip, cleft palate, depending on how bad it is or how much they need the pacifier looking feeding bottle. So basically you just don't need to use that. So you either use your cup or use your spoon. The other thing is, the reason you're using the cup or spoon feeding method is because you also don't want your baby to get confused, nipple confusion, because nipple confusion comes in, and because those pacifier looking feeding bottles, they just let down milk. You don't have to apply pressure for the milk to come out. So when the baby is used to that, they forget to breastfeed, and so that means their suck reflex gets weaker, and with the weak suck reflex, the feeding is not sufficient, so your baby won't gain weight adequately. You might see maybe reduced urine output, things that might lead to kidney injuries, that will lead to admission in the hospital, or even dehydration. So those are the things that you need to know about feeding a baby who is 0 to 6 months. And you should never ever introduce anything else other than breast milk, not even water, not unless it's prescribed by a professional. That's it for today's video. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment section. I'll be glad to answer. I'll see you on the next one, guys. Bye.